Welcome to the Fantasy Football Hub channel for the next episode in the My Team series. Today I've got a man on for the second time this preseason who has come in the top 1k 4 times in his career. FPL Salah, Abdul, is back. Now, Abdul, you're going to be giving us your final team reveal in this episode. But before that, I have to show the people the leaderboard on the screen right now. You are currently down in 10th. So your initial draft has you in 10th. The only person you're beating is me, which is embarrassing, God. But you're down in 10th. You're going to have to improve on that today.
All right, hopefully it improves then, yeah.
There's a lot to do. Without further ado, as always, we're going to be building this on Fantasy Football Hub's My Team tool, and that's going to give Abdul's team, his final team, a team rating percentage out of 100. As you can see there, 91. It sounds good, but actually it's quite low down compared to other elite FPL managers we've had on the channel. Room for improvement, Abdul. And if you guys want to do the same and try and beat Abdul's team rating and everyone else I've had on the channel, link to do so for free for your team is down below in the description and the pinned comment. Abdul, let's get into it.
Yeah, so my goalkeepers are Sanchez and Dubravka. So I'm sure I think I had Sanchez in the first initial video as well. I had Kinski there, but obviously now Dubravka has moved to Burnley. He's become like a much more viable £4 million goalkeeper. So I don't think much needs to be said for him. He is, I think, the only one who is looking like he will be a first team regular. And Sanchez, Chelsea got great fixtures, same as before.
Are you concerned at all about Colwell's injury, just with Sanchez and potentially Chelsea being a weaker defence, I say, in Chelsea kit?
No, not really, because I did see some talking about Chelsea's defence being weaker. I mean, of course it's going to be weaker, but I mean, they've got a lot of backup there. I mean, I think they've got maybe like 3-4 centre-backs, you know, who can fill in there. I think they've got Badiashile, Tosin. They just signed a new, I can't remember his name.
Or Hato.
Yeah, Hato. Yeah, Hato. Maybe it decreases the defence quality by a couple of percent, but it's nowhere near enough to me like omit Sanchez from the team. I mean, maybe they had like 2 or 3 injuries in the back line. I'd think about it, but I don't think one player's a huge amount of difference when, especially with the quality of backups that they've got.
Okay, fair enough. Let's get into the defence then.
Yeah, so I'll just go with my starting defenders. I've got Pedro Porro, Murillo, and Tarkowski.
Ooh, Tarkowski's in. Nice. Yeah. Talk about him first, because he's one that obviously is so good for defensive contribution points. But after everyone sort of got over that fact, I think he's been in fewer teams than maybe we expected when the game was released.
Yeah, I mean, he was basically not in any of my drafts up until recently. I had Van Dijk in there before, but I think with Tarkowski, as you said, he was a defender who got the most defensive contribution points last season. The other main reason is that Everton have got great fixtures, so he's got the chance of the clean sheets as well. And also, you remember in the first video, I was planning on bench boosting in game week 1, but because of certain situations, like, for example, Dubravka becoming an option now, and I think I'll explain more when you see the whole team, but now I'm thinking more of a bench boost in game week 2, which Tarkowski comes in handy for. So that's why I've got him there. That is like obviously one of the reasons, but I think generally, if you just look at the fixtures for Everton earlier on, are pretty good. And Everton were like the 4th best defense last season for expected goals conceded. They're always going to be a good defensive team. I mean, they're always like defense first, attack last. So and you can pop up a goal as well.
Tarkowski played against Roma the other day in a friendly where they lost 1-0. However, the important thing from that game to take is that he hit his 10 defensive contribution points in something like 67 minutes. He ended up with way over what you would need to get those 2 points. He was the best out of any defender last year for those points. So yeah, a great pick. Only at 6% ownership. Pedro Porro and Murillo, why have you gone for them?
Murillo just been a pick since game week 1 team. Forest got good fixtures. Again, he's a defensive contributions monster in terms. I think he got it 19 times right last season, so that's an extra 38 points. I think Forest did overperform on the defense last season, right? But I still think they're a decent defense, and I think they'll keep clean sheets in the easier fixtures and the middling fixtures. I just think he's a solid pick, and just with the whole 5-man defense here, if you look like once I've named the other 2 defenders, you'll see they do rotate quite well for the first 12 weeks.
And then Porro finally.
Yeah, Porro again. Spurs have got great early fixtures. Burnley game week 1, and the main thing here was Maddison being out for most of the season means that Porro's going to be on pretty much all set pieces. So he's one I just kind of bought in recently, just due to that fact that he's going to be in a lot of set pieces. And I was looking at the bookmakers odds as well, like so Spurs are actually the favourites to keep a clean sheet in game week 1 against Burnley. And generally, if you look at the next few weeks, even in like like the models, like the Hobby Eye tool, Spurs are actually the market expects them to be a much better defence under Thomas Frank,
Yeah.
and I think generally, without you looking at that, you'd think that as well because I mean, no manager is going to be like Ange Postecoglou, right? Just all gung ho attack, and I think Frank's going to come in and shore them up. And I think a lot of managers, and rightfully so, are probably getting a bit put off by last season, with Spurs kind of defensive numbers. But I don't think they'll be anywhere near as bad this season.
See, I completely agree with that, but I don't think personally yet, and who am I to disagree with you, that they're going to just suddenly become a solid defense. I think that the players are pretty much exactly the same. They've got Polinia in who will shore things up, but apart
Oh
from
yeah,
that, it's identical. I just don't think that suddenly over one summer you can suddenly just change the way of playing completely. And I mean, there will be better defensively. I just think that
yeah.
inherently they will still have that sort of Ange way in their minds a little bit subconsciously or whatever. So I'm going to wait and see. I think on Spurs defense, but other elite managers that we've had on the series, Ben Crellin, the number one manager of all time, the founder of Fantasy Football Hub himself, Will, they're very, very hot on Porro and the Spurs defense. So yeah, again, maybe I'm missing something, but I've actually seen quite a lot of your comments in the comments down below, and a lot of you are thinking the same thing. Surely we're going a little bit too aggressive on Tottenham, but who knows? Let's round off the defense.
Yeah, so the last two are Anderson, who's been in there since game week 1. Look, he hit his DC 18, his defensive contribution threshold 18 times last season, 4.5 million. I just think he's fantastic. And Fulham are actually a really underrated defense. They were actually fifth for expected goals conceded last season, and I think they'll be one of those teams like Forest were last season, where they just basically surprised everyone, were quite solid at the back because the numbers do back up. They did concede a lot more than they should have if you're looking at if you're looking at the underlying data. So I just think Anderson's a solid pick at 4.5. Even if they don't, I guess, keep a lot of clean sheets, he'll still be good for the defensive contributions. And then I've got Esteve for Burnley. Again, he's just like a fifth midfielder, a fifth defender, sorry. But I mean, he could come in handy for the game week 2 bench boost if I decide to play in game week 2. I know it was a championship last season, but if you look at his DEFCON data for last season, he is right up there with the likes of Tarkowski in terms of how good he is. And I don't see that changing because Burnley in the Premier League are going to be they're going to be in the back foot almost every game,
Yeah.
and there's going to be a lot of defensive contributions for the defenders.
Really? He's that level of sort of a
Yeah,
DEFCON
that's yeah. I
player.
mean, if you look at his
Wow.
clearances, his interceptions, and that in the championship, of course they they play a lot more games. Like I think they play 46 games in the championship. But even if you average it out, he's up there with like Tarkowski.
That's very impressive. I didn't know that. That is the sort of advice and like sort of a tidbit of information you get from people like Abdul. That right there. I'm showing on screen right now all defenders last year in FPL sorted by what they would have got in terms of defensive contribution points. Anderson is there. Tarkovsky, as you said, right at the top. Mario, another one of your picks, is second. And yeah, you just mentioned with Esteve how important that is. So clearly a big factor in your thinking. Let's get into the midfield then.
Midfield, I'll go with the three big hitters first of all. Mo Salah, Palmer, and Bruno Fernandes. So they are my three most expensive midfielders. I've had Palmer and Mo Salah since the first draft. I don't think we need to speak much on them, but Bruno Fernandes I think will be an interesting one because the thing with Man United is they've signed Cunha, they've signed Sesko, they've signed Mbeumo. They're going to be a much more like fluid attacking team, I think. Right, they're going to score more goals, and I think Bruno Fernandes is going to benefit from that. And we just know, like from his DefCon data from last season, it doesn't really matter where he plays, whether he's going to play like centre midfield, where he's going to go deep. He's on penalties, he's a 90-minute man. I just think he's such a solid pick. In the game against Fiorentina, he got one assist, but he would have actually got 10 points in that game because he hit his defensive contributions and he would have got 3 bonus points as well. With the amount of like, I mean, I think you'd assume with the amount of defensive contributions he got and the assist that he probably get 8 to 10 points. And that for me was one of those things where I thought he's going to benefit, firstly from the more attacking team, getting more attacking in turns, and secondly from this new DEFCON rule as well. And I just think, when a player can just hit, get a wee jammy assist and end up with like, 8 to 9 points, it's a very good option to have.
That's true. For some players, an assist is just 5 points, maybe even four if they pick up a yellow or something. But yeah, for a player like Bruno, if he's getting all those other sort of bonuses, the def cons as you mentioned, that could easily be a 10, even an 11 pointer because of getting a clean sheet just from one attacking return. That, as you say, might be very jammy, especially with the new assist rule change this season. So he's on set pieces. That might affect him. Okay, let's round off the midfield.
Yeah, so my last two midfielders are Ndiaye and Anderson. I think we had them in my first draft as well. Anderson, we know, is like a DEFCON monster. He hit his defensive contribution threshold 13 times last season. Got 2 goals, 6 assists. So I think he's one of those players where you just play him every game. He'll be good for the bench boost as well because you can just play him in any game. He could pop up with 5, 7 points just off an assist. And I think he's going to. I actually think he's going to get more defensive contributions and attacking returns this season. There's Alanga's left, which means that he's going to take, pretty much all set pieces. And I think Forest are looking to sign Leif Davis. So if that happens, then he might take some set pieces off Anderson. So we need to watch out for that. However, as things stand, I think he's a great option. I'm not saying he's going to get 10 goals and 10 assists, but he's going to trickle along with the points, attacking contributions, and also he's going to get the defensive contributions as well. So I just think, yeah, he's just so good at 5.5 million. And Diaz is kind of a similar pick. He's 6.5. He's playing for Everton, who obviously don't score many goals, but they've got good fixtures, and he's going to be the penalty taker. Should get plenty of minutes as well. I know they've signed Jack Grealish, but from what I've read and spoken to a few Everton fans, they're of the belief that he's not going to affect NDI minutes, whatsoever. NDI can play attacking mid on the right or the left. So if Grealish plays on the left, NDI can go in the middle as well. So. I'm still pretty confident in NDI's minutes.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think some people are being put off by him a little bit because of that. But yeah, he can play in pretty much, I think, all four front positions, really. But I think that right wing especially is where he may go. I don't know how he's going to go out there. That's the only thing. We're not sure if he's going to be as good or as effective from the right. But the right winger in that team is sort of the one that they don't necessarily have a clear option for. I'm not sure if McNeil is like as sort of nailed as he used to be in that team. They've got Alcaraz as well who can play out there, but I think that Dewsbury Hall may be the one that goes into that 10 position. Or Dewsbury if he drops out, then Ndiaye will go in and then McNeil could play on the right. But yeah, I think Everton fans are saying he was our best player last year. Yeah. So he's going to play. Okay, then let's get into your forwards and round off this team. 20 million to spend.
Yeah, so I'll go for the first one is Strand Larsen. Now, I had Thiago there before. I think Thiago's great at 6 million. However, Wissa's still there. We've got like 4 days. We're recording on Tuesday. It's 4 days until game week 1. I don't want to pick Thiago if Wissa's still there in case he ends up staying. I don't want to be using early transfers on him. So I've kind of got that extra 0.5 million from the Van Dijk money down to Tarkowski and just upgraded him to Strand Larsen. And I've gone for Matt Guy as well as my 4.5 million midfielder now. Forward. Now with Guy, like he's there as obviously the third forward, but just on the basis that he might just become a fantastic option. But also he's got a great fixture in game week 2 against Sunderland. So against Burnley. Now, if he starts game week 1, and he's looking to start game week 2, then I might just I guess a lot of the bench boost kind of decision lies on Guy a little bit. If he's looking great, I'll probably more than likely activate it. But yeah, he's a third forward and he's going to be on the bench most weeks anyway.
And then 9 million still to spend.
Yeah, I deliberately left this one last just in case you want to guess who it is.
Well, you know who I would guess, and I would be shocked if it isn't the person that. There's no way you're actually going for an Arsenal forward. I don't believe it. Are you?
No, who do you think it is?
Watkins.
Yeah, it's Watkins.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Why are you making me guess that obvious bit? Yes, it had to be Watkins. You really sent me down the river there a little bit. I thought you were going for Gyökeres.
I thought I want to see how well you knew me, but yeah.
Oh, I know you very well. It was Watkins on my life right there.
Yeah, of course. I mean, look, he's I don't see the need in going Gyökeres over Watkins from game week 1. There's too many uncertainties around Gyökeres with his minutes with Havertz there, and Arsenal's tough fixtures at the start. I think Watkins is a solid pick. Like I'm surprised he's only in about 19% of teams at the moment. Looking at Villa's fixtures.
What? Yeah,
Um,
20%. Wow.
Yes, 21% now. It was 19% yesterday. So hopefully it stays there because I think he's just, a fantastic option for the first well, until the first wild card actually, until like because whether I play in game week 7 or 13, he's just he's just a great pick. If you're looking at the fixtures, and I think there's a bit uncertainty there around penalties. I mean, I've asked a few Villa fans and they've given me different answers like Tielemans or Watkins, but Watkins has taken the last two while Tielemans has been on the pitch. I know he's not very good at them. He is terrible at them. So that means that, he could come off them at any time. But I'd say I'm about 50-50 with him being on penalties. But even without penalties, he's still a good pick. I mean, if you just look at he's one of those forwards where he gets goals and assists. Um,
True.
uh, he got like 18 assists in 23-24, which is insane.
Wow.
I know a lot of them were like an FPL assists, but he's just one of those menacing players in the box. He's always taking shots off, rebounds coming in, shots coming off the post. So he kind of earns those in a way as well. I just think he's a solid option. And yeah, I think Villa have signed that new player Gessend, who I think is probably more of a threat to Marlon than Watkins. I know he does play a lot of minutes up front, or he has in the past. So I guess it decreases Watkins' expected minutes a little bit, but I don't think it's enough to put me off.
No, I agree with that. I think, is he in the get? Yeah, here he is. We've got him at what, 2 predicted points at the moment. Just not 100% sure whether he's going to start or not. But yeah, it's Marlon's the one that his predicted points have dropped,
Yeah.
and Watkins have stayed up high. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be challenging Watkins at all. Okay, then that is your team. I will click save and then optimize. And then let's have a look at the team rating. Just to remind you, you are currently, or were currently, 10th in the leaderboard out of 11th.
Right.
So you'd be hoping for some improvement. I think this is going to be the team to do it. Let's reveal the team rating. 96%, very solid. Very, very good. 66.9 predicted points. That puts you up to third behind Bakar and Ben Krellin. So you're in pretty good company there.
I'm in good company.
Yeah, you're ahead of Rich Clark. You're ahead of Will, the founder of Fantasy Football Hub. You're ahead of last year's winner. You're ahead of the previous year's winner. So yeah, you're doing pretty well. I like this team a lot. There's not too much I can say that I don't like about it, really. I also really like the Tarkowski pick. I feel like Van Dijk versus Tarkowski was never a decision that we've ever had to make in the past. But now it genuinely is. And you can save 0.5 doing it. I'm looking at my team with Van Dijk in it. What's his ownership these days? 24%. I think that's come down, to be honest. I'm not sure about him.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, since yesterday, Salah and Van Dijk's ownership has gone down quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, by that I mean like the Crystal Palace game when they got beat. So people are reacting.
Now, Abdul, before we talk about your chip strategy, which you've mentioned throughout the video, I do first of all want to show you this, your AI recommended transfers by Fantasy Football Hub. So our AI is recommending that you sell Strand Larsen and bring in Mateta, which I really like, and sell Tarkowski, a player that I've just said I like being in your team, for another Tottenham defender, Van de Ven. What do you think about those moves?
You know what? I actually really like those moves. Like since we've started doing this, those are probably my favorite recommended transfers I've come across because Mateta has been a player I've been looking at since the Liverpool game. Mainly because he took the penalty in the penalty shootout. He scored his and Eze missed his. So I think there's a good chance he might be on penalties again. Eze might leave as well. He's been linked to Spurs, so that depends as well. And honestly, double Spurs defense, I don't think that's too bad. Looking at their fixtures, I know I get what you said about them not turning into like a great defense overnight, but I still think they'll be decent enough or good enough to kind of merit picking their players. So I like those moves. I like them.
It's worth saying as well, we've been doing videos together for what, almost 3 years now. So that's a big point. Saying that these are your favorite recommendations ever. I will say as well, like the recommendations do get better each year as like AI gets stronger. I think that's worth mentioning. A couple of years ago, it was pretty new, but now like the process is locked in, and the Hub's AI is getting stronger each year.
Yeah, for sure.
If you guys want to get your own personalized AI recommended transfers for your team, if you want to win at FPL, then click the link in the description and sign up to Fantasy Football Hub. It's currently 50% off in pre-season, And if you don't win your mini league, you will get all your money refunded to you. Yeah, you heard me correctly, if you're a new customer. It's a pretty ridiculous deal. There are a couple of T's and C's there, but they're very simple to hit. Now is the best time to sign up to Fantasy Football Hub. If you've been watching all these videos throughout preseason and you haven't yet done it, do it now. Do it before Game Week 1. Otherwise, you're not getting the full benefit across the season. It costs less than like a coffee a month. It's really, really cheap, to be fair. Go and sign up and see if you can beat Abdul's team rating. Abdul, before we go, I do want to ask you about your chip strategy.
Yeah.
You mentioned the potential of a Game Week 2 bench boost, and that being one of the main reasons that you have Tarkowski. That fixture is nice, actually, Brentford at home. Just run me through your general thoughts.
I'm not too hung up on the bench boost in Game Week 2, but I am planning it. Well, one of the reasons why I put off a Game Week bench boost 1 now is that Dubravka and Gui are doubts, right? So I think we're going to have a much... I don't think there's any way I can bench boost in Game Week 1 now with that team. Now, in Game Week 2, Dubravka's got Sunderland, Esteve's got Sunderland at home as well. Anderson's got Man United at home, and Guy's got Burnley away. Now, I think, just on that basis, it's good enough to bench boost, I think, that team. If they all start.
Yeah.
Now, if it turns out that, Dubravka hasn't started in Game Week 1 and he's about to start Game Week 2, and Guy's only got 5-10 minutes off the bench, then I'll just simply delay it. It's not a big deal. It's just one of those where I'll use that at some point before the first wild card. I've just had a look at the fixtures across it. There's 2 or 3 game weeks I could use it. Game Week 8 is another good time I could use it as well.
Let me have a look at Game Week 8, because I haven't actually looked at this. This is what I love about this, by the way. On the My Team tool, you can literally just go to whatever game week in the future you like and see how your team is going to be set up. Oh yeah, okay, so that's why you like it. That's the next good or solid Burnley fixture, isn't it, in Game Week 8? I suppose Game Week 5's all right, but yeah, Tarkowski may not be there by then. You mean you could this is 8 weeks in the future.
Yeah.
Seeing what's happened, that is the next good or very good Burnley fixture.
Yeah, because those players like Dubravka, Anderson and Esteve, it's very unlikely I'm going to be using transfers on them. They'll still be there. I could possibly be, Tarkowski could possibly go that week or the week before. I can set up for it because, I plan on having, free transfers up until that week. Saving as many as possible. But yeah, I think that's another good week to do it. But I think generally with the bench boost, even if I come across a random week where I'm just feeling it, I could even play it. If I've got decent fixtures, I know my players are going to get good minutes. Just activate it. And to be honest, the same goes for the triple captain as well. It's just one of those where I'll just there's a few fixtures there when Liverpool, even Game Week 1. To be honest, I've not seen this talked about much, right? But triple captain Salah Game Week 1 isn't a bad shout at all, because Bournemouth they're missing, obviously. Dean Hyson's gone, Kerkez is gone, Zabarni is on his way to PSG. They've got a pretty decimated defense, right? The only I'd say downside to that is that before Game Week 19, which is when the deadline for your first set of chips, they do play Leeds, Sunderland, and Burnley, right? And then 2 of them are at home, so those are the fixtures you really want to use them in, but I don't think Bournemouth Game Week 1's a bad shout.
That is a great shout. I don't think I'm brave enough to do it, but we talk about having a fast start and how important that can sometimes be, don't we? Let's just have a look at the overall fixtures here for Liverpool. Yeah, from say Game Week 14, they are top of the ticker, but yeah, Sunderland at home. Well, Salah's not going to be there, is he? When does Salah come back? This is the thing. Do we know this 100%? Depends how Egypt do.
It depends on how they do, yeah. It depends on how they do it.
But often you're right. He does miss it's 1 or 2 game weeks that he misses. It's always much less than you think it's going to be.
Yeah, but the fixtures are there, and obviously there's Haaland's fixtures there as well for Burnley at home, and I guess there's those types of fixtures for Palmer as well. I think typically you wouldn't want to play at home to Bournemouth, but I just think with the current situation, Game Week 1. There's no midweek fixtures, I think, for the first 3 game weeks, so you're guaranteed to get 90 minutes out of them as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. Oh, it's interesting that you say that. I don't know if I'm brave enough to do it, but comment down below if you are. Abdul, thank you very much, as always. I said final team reveal in the title and the thumbnail. Shoot me down, I'm playing the YouTube game. This might not be 100% locked in. If you do want to see Abdul's final team reveal, it's worth saying it's a few days out from deadline when we're recording this. that 100% final team will be on the website, link down below.
Yeah.
Obviously, anything could happen. It's pretty ridiculous to say this is 100% confirmed team, but yes, have a go at me in the comments if you want. What a privilege it was, by the way, to cycle through these game week by game week. Just something that you cannot do on the main website, which I don't really understand, but if you want to, you can do it on Fantasy Football Hub. Now is the best time to sign up, 100%. Thank you very much, Abdul, as always. Good luck for the start of the season. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and yeah, we will catch you on the next one.